Good morning. It's Monday. It's the last Monday in March, which is nuts. I am still getting dressed. I don't know where my socks are, but I'm putting my watch on. Uh, Good morning, Kelly. Okay, turn on the watch. Okay. Already having issues, but that's because I refused to get up early enough to fix them. Oops, this is the wrong screen that I want to be looking at. This is my cup of tea. This is the wedding china. I don't believe I've used the wedding china. Good morning, Vicky. I don't remember what it is. It's been Wedgwood, really? Yeah, Wedgwood. I would have thought it was like not Wedgwood. Um, Funny story. I don't have the hands camera today because I didn't wake up early enough. I didn't get out of bed early enough. Where the hell is my camera? In case you're interested. Oh my gosh. I'll pretend you can see it right there. Funny story. When my then fiance and I were, not yet married, but planning on being married, hence fiance, as opposed to Beyonce. We were, looking for the wedding china because weddings and gift registries back in the old days before on the online and Target. Well, I guess Target definitely existed, but you'd like to sell yours, Kelly? I just went to, not just, about a month ago, I went to the place in Frandor. Is it called Liberty? To start the process of selling my stamp collection, which I thought I'd never sell. I don't know. And there's one guy who's only there on Tuesdays, and I didn't go back to talk to him yet, but I wonder if they can help you with that. I want to get to my day. His name's Ryan, and I went to Hudson's, I'm saying Hudson's. What's it called now? Macy's. And between that, it was Marshall Fields. But it was Hudson's then. You know how old people are or how long they've been there by what they call the things, right? To look at China. And we were looking and looking, and I said, I like this one. I was standing here, and he was standing to my left, and he looked, and he goes, I don't like that one. I'm like, which surprisingly, we had very similar tastes. Not surprisingly, we liked the same of everything. We were building a house while we were getting married, and it was no problem because we liked all the same things. This house, actually, I still like it. And then a little bit later, he said, I like this one. And I walked over, and it was the same one I'd been pointing to, which should be, it wasn't a clue. And I'm like, that's the one I liked, so, which is, means he really liked it because he didn't know it was the one I'd liked. What happened was there was a mirror divider between these dishes and those dishes. So when he looked from over here, he saw a reflection of the dishes on his side, not the dishes on my side. So when he saw the dishes on my side on his own, not knowing that they were the same dishes and he liked them, we settled on the wedding china. So I thought that was a good story. There are a lot of stories like that. They're way too small, those cups, let me just say. Which is why we have teacups. No, which is why we have teapots. So, oh boy. I own this. Tammy says, I own no china, not graceful enough. Kelly says, I never use my china. Tammy corrects, I'm not graceful enough. The china is graceful enough. We barely have used this china. I ended up with it after the divorce, and I don't use it. I think I pulled it out for a dinner when the boys were here, just an everyday dinner. And I think I need to obviously I need to fix that. Ooh, bonk. So I can use it. It's, and my friend Jan taught me, I don't know if she's still alive. My friend Jan, I assume she is, or I would have heard, to use the good stuff. And to put it in the dishwasher, which I've started putting things in the dishwasher that I used to hand wash, mostly pottery that's, I purchased from craft shows and things because it all goes in the dishwasher. They say that and I'm like, I'm not putting that in the dishwasher, but you can, and then you don't have to hand wash things. It's awesome. So I could put this in the dishwasher. She put her lead crystal in the dishwasher and all her china, but I don't know if this is going to translate. It has shiny silver, there you go, edges, which might come off in the dishwasher. And I don't want that to happen. I don't want it to look not shiny. The reason we like this, all of our wedding stuff, which you can't see, there's the wedding china. We got pewter. We have pewter serving pieces, kind of. We have pewter goblets. Oh, I should do my tea in a goblet. Maybe I'll do that next week. My goal in life is never have to get up. Pewter from, damn it, I forget the name of the place in South America. My sister, who lived there at the time, got us, we have a pitcher and goblets and plates and all kinds of stuff. So we wanted pewter, silver, because we like silver. Anyway, it has silver on the rim. We couldn't find pewter teacups, but well, I don't really put anything in the microwave, so that won't be a problem. Except popcorn. I grew up without a microwave, and I still don't really know how to use one. Okay, let's get to the point of today, shall we? I need to look for pictures. Since I can't use my phone, I took it off the thing because I probably have to upgrade everything. Oh, so Friday, my live stream Friday, I got all set up. Like I started in the afternoon for my 7 p.m. live stream, and I upgraded the software, the operating software on my iMac. Not awake yet. And on my iPad, my iPhone was already up to date. And then I had to reinstall. And I did this because otherwise there were things on OBS Studio, which is what I'm using to film this, that I couldn't use unless I had a certain version of the operating system. So I upgraded everything, updated everything. I had my iPad working on OBS Studio. My phone was working. My iPad was working. I could look at Ravelry and scroll through, which is something I haven't been able to figure out how to do. And I did a thing, and I liked the thing, but I accidentally, because I could use my iPad, put up some sensitive information because I didn't learn that you should find the page on the iPad and then show the screen instead of showing the screen and looking for the page, because you might accidentally show sensitive financial information. So I took that video down. I was sad, but I don't know how to edit it. Maybe I'll get my son to edit it for me. So anyway, I want to tell you a story, but I have to find pictures. I already told you a story. Let's see. I think the easiest way. Oh, sorry. I'm still sniffy. Not happy about that. I'm going way back in a, what do they call it? Text conversation. Way back. Way back. Keep going. Load. Yeah, I'm still sniffy. Can somebody put in the, Tammy, I already forget what I was saying. I bet getting that done felt productive. I already forget what I got done. Isn't that awful? Can someone please put in the chat what a normal temperature, human temperature is on a thermometer? Because I never know. I can never remember. Come on. That's not it. It doesn't help that I'm good friends with the person I'm looking back 4 years of text worth, so there's lots of text to go through. Oh, okay. That was what I had this morning. I'm always below that, and I'm always below that. What are these pictures of? Oh, I remember. I'm always below that, and today I was that, and I thought that seems high to me, which maybe means it is high. I still have sniffles, and if I breathe with too much gusto, I start coughing. So I'm sad about that. But I'm going to work today in my mask. So I'm very snotty. Okay, we got to be getting there. Please hold. So I want to know the date as well as find these pictures to show you. So if I can find them in the chat message, I'm only in 2021. So I like the setup I have for my Friday live stream studio, which is a Patreon French fry level perk and above. Keep going. Are you kidding me? It stops at September 22. Okay. I don't know what I just said. Yeah, my normal is usually lower. I've been taking my temperature every morning since probably June of 2020, whenever the store got shut down, which was probably before June, because my boss asked me to, and I've been doing it every morning since. All right, this is very important to me, so I'm going to try a different way. Let's do photos, but then I have to do the Wayback Scroll. I start sentences and then I don't remember what I'm talking about. I'm sorry. Scrolling. It's 2021. It was pre-COVID. Right? It's just like a size, 18. What the hell is that? Dress size. Okay, 21. It's got to be earlier than that. Oh my gosh. Oh boy. Whoa, slow down. There's a cat. I'm trying to tell you a story about Clara. Is that a cat or a dog? I don't know what that is. It's not my dog. Oh, so it's either above that. Did I get her? What year did I get her? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't think I had her there, so let's go this way. Might be zeroing in on it. Bear with me. It's important to me to tell this story today. I'm not prepared because I didn't get out of bed. Oh, there she is. That's it. Okay, and the date is December 7th of 2018. That makes sense. Okay, on December 7th of 2018, my friend Naomi freaked out on Facebook. I'm not going back to look for that post because I probably won't be able to find it. Because her dog, Clara, that's at the perfect temperature. Let me have another one. So at the time she had a probably 4-year-old, and a 15-month-old, I think. I made that up. And the 15-month-old was breastfeeding on the couch with Naomi, anyway. And Clara, their dog, was sitting on the floor, and the breastfeeder popped off, rolled over, and landed on the dog, who turned around and put her jaws on the neck, I don't know if throat or neck or what, of the child. And Naomi freaked out, rightly. She says, nothing would have happened, but it just made me think, made me panic that it was just an instinctual reaction of the dog, and the dog immediately, like, oops, and Naomi sent Clara to the basement. Now, she'd had Clara since she was in grad school, not Clara, that Naomi was in grad school, and needed something to help her emotionally and mentally, and went and got a dog, and the dog is Clara. And Clara's name was Karma at the time, but Naomi renamed her to Clara. And so after the incident happened at Naomi's house, she freaked out and put the dog in the basement and went on Facebook and said she needed to find I don't know what she said, a shelter or something for the dog. Like she had to rehome the dog. And I wrote to her and I said, will the dog eat my cat? And she said no. And I said, will the dog, I forget what I said, eat my shoes or something like that. There was another question like that. And she said no. And I said, is it crate trained? And she said yes, because I've only had one dog and it was crate trained and I knew how to do that. And I said, bring her over. This is a picture of Clara at Naomi's house pre-incident. And this one, notice how she's not as gray. She's just a little bit gray. It's the same picture. So that's what she looked like. I'll show you again. Her sweet little face. Hardly gray at all. And that was 2018, December 5th. And so she brought her over, and Clara got out of the car and sniffed around the yard and went right to the front door. So we let her in, and she sniffed around a little bit and then got on the couch and laid down. And Naomi said, well, that was unexpected. So she took her back home. Naomi took Clara back home, and then a couple days later, maybe not even that long, Clara came to live with me. And I had only had one dog when I had my family of 4 living here. And so I had people to help me. And I think that I needed the dog. I didn't know it, but I think I needed it emotionally and mentally. This was pre-recovery. And the dog, well, I had Clara. And Clara was a big part of my life. I was privileged to take her outside every day, at least 3 or 4 times. She got me out of the house. She got me walking. It's hard to walk without a dog when you've had a dog. I was taking care of her. She put up with my drinking. She put up with my weird hours. My friend Deb helped to watch her. And when I had to travel, because I was still traveling, she would go stay with Deb. My neighbors fell in love with her, Colleen and Rick. So fast forward to this year, and Clara's just a part of my life. And it's like I've always had Clara. And I don't know what the date was. Oh, my favorite Clara story is, so that was December 8th, I think it was. Yeah. So she was here shortly before Christmas. She's a Hanukkah dog, but she was here shortly before Christmas. And then on New Year's Eve, there were fireworks that I like, big ones. And New Year's Eve, there's no official fireworks in town, but there were big ones that I could see from my front. Like I sat on my couch and looked out my window, and there were giant fireworks. And Clara started barking, like, oh my gosh, those are stupid. Why are they there? They need to get out of my yard. She was not scared. She was pissed. And I filmed her for part of it. It was hilarious. And so I wasn't worried about her at all. And she barked and barked and barked. The fireworks started at 10 p.m. Bark, 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 bark. Just affronted, just pissed. Bark, bark, bark. And at 10:28, which was 28 minutes later, she stopped barking and she went in the kitchen to drink some water. And then she came back out and the fireworks stopped just like that. And she was like, ah, ooh, ah, ah. Like, where did they go? Let me at them. It was hilarious. I don't have that on tape, but I have the barking on tape. Someday I'll post it for you. It was, and then I put something on Facebook. Maybe I put that on Facebook, and people are like, "Oh, she's so scared. She needs a thunder shirt. She needs this. I drugged my dog. Fireworks are so mean." I'm like, "Oh no, she wasn't scared. She was pissed." And Naomi piped up and said, "Oh yes, she was." So I was learning about Clara. So fast forward to this year, and Clara's been a handful because of her sensitive stomach, although she can eat candy wrappers and steel wool and pot brownies, and she's fine. See, now it's cold. Let's have some more from the pot. So I'd been working with her allergies. Oh, and she had been on anxiety meds when I got her, and I got her. She instantly was calmer. Her family came to visit her a couple weeks later, and Dad said, "Oh my gosh, she's already so much calmer," because she just wasn't made for a house with a 4-year-old and a baby. So, and now there's another person living, another little being that's in that house. So she just wasn't she wasn't living her best. It's like Sam wasn't living her best life, Sam the cat. When Clara was here, Clara wasn't living her best life with little kids in the house. So I got her off the anti-anxiety meds, and I briefly got her off the allergy medications. But between, I don't know, there were allergies, and her stomach needed, I don't know, couldn't find the right food. Then there was a little bit of pancreatitis, blah, blah, blah. So we were working on Clara. She was a work in progress, as was I. And on, I don't know, it was January of this year, Sam the cat finally moved off to Chicago with my son, who already lived in Chicago, but he came and got the cat, which was good for the cat because she wasn't living her best quality of life here. So now she lives in Chicago, and it was just me and Clara, and it was the first time since 1985, I'm pretty sure, that I didn't have a cat. And I made it 5 days, and then I saw a picture of Mr. Mustache, and then I adopted Mr. Mustache. So I saw him on Friday. On Saturday, Clara and I went to visit him at PetSmart at an adoption event, and the two didn't care about each other, so that's better than, I've never had two pets that got along. So at least these two didn't care. I mean, it was a brief meeting, but, and she was at PetSmart. She sniffed for the dog treats, and she was, she was a good girl. And I said I would adopt the cat. I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, I don't want a cat. I'll adopt the cat. Truthfully, I was in love with the mustache, and I wanted to have that cat. And then he was like, he didn't care I was there. He wasn't unfriendly, but he was like, I'm just going to go do my thing. But I wanted the cat. But I didn't have any cat stuff because Sam had moved to Chicago with all the cat stuff. So on Sunday, I bought all the cat stuff. And on Sunday night, Mr. Mustache moved in. And then I had a cat and Clara. And Clara was fine. I mean, we tried to separate them, we being my neighbor who's the cat foster. And Mr. Mustache just jumped right out of the little place I'd made for him, and he and Clara were fine. And so I'm like, well, that was easy. And that was Sunday night. And then Monday, I was worried we were working on something with Clara. Can't remember what it was. I don't want to have to think about it right now. But we were working on something with her. And on Sunday night and Monday morning, I don't remember what was happening, but I was worried enough. I think she stopped eating. I think she wasn't interested in eating, and she didn't really want to go out. And that was very unusual, that she didn't want to eat. So I was worried about her on Monday, and I tried to get somebody to take my shift at the shop, and I couldn't find anybody. No, people have lives. So I went to work on Monday. And while I was at work on Monday, my neighbor Colleen came and took Clara out to go potty like she always did. Bless her heart. When I went to work. And I actually haven't even spoken to Colleen since then. Or briefly have. It's like that was our tie to the neighbor. Um, and she took Clara out, and Clara went outside and she did her thing, and then she wanted to go back in. Colleen said it was like she wanted to go back in and then she laid right down. So she said that she didn't seem to feel good. That was Monday during the day. Monday night I got home and was worried about Clara, who still didn't want to eat. There were some medicines she was taking, and at first she gobbled them right up, and then I was hiding them in food. Thank you for letting me tell this story. Or thank you for listening. You don't have a choice of letting me tell the story. And I was worried about her, and on Tuesday morning, I took her into the vet. They made room for me in the schedule, and there were x-rays, and there were blood tests and the big workover, and there was something splotchy in her lungs, but not definitive. And I was told to try to get a urine sample, and then because they couldn't get one, and then to wait for the blood work results. So that afternoon, I was trying to get her to pee, and I would take her outside, and she couldn't even stand up, and I had her like propped against my legs, standing up, saying, pee, pee. And the neighbors walked by, and they're like, she doesn't look good. I'm like, I know, but they told me to get some urine. I mean, it was like I had the thing that I was told to do or asked to do, so I was going to do it. Gosh darn it, it gave me something to do. And she just looked horrible, and my one neighbor said, I can't watch this, and she left, and I thought, well, she's not too good, but she's going to be okay. We're going to fix her. We were going to fix her. And I took her back in the house, and she was at the point where she would look up at me, and then she would lurch over and want to be by me, which is not unusual, but she very obviously wanted to be near me. And what I took away from that was that she loved me. She wanted to be with me, and she felt better near me. I mean, she probably was just saying, help me. But I picked her up and I put her on the couch next to me. And I regret that I put her facing away from me, but that's how she would have sat, because she was always facing away from me to watch out for the bad guys. And I was editing, and she was breathing over here, and her eyes were open, and then all of a sudden she stopped breathing. Well, so sorry, I was texting with Naomi, and I was saying she's not doing really well, and I don't know what to do. And I called the vet again, and they said, you really just have to wait for blood work. It was different people than I'd talked to in the morning, and they said, you just have to wait for blood work. I'm like, okay. And then I was talking to Naomi, and she said, I'm going to come visit her. And I said, okay. She said, I'm on my way. And while she was on her way, Clara stopped breathing. And I started yelling I looked over, and her tongue was hanging out. I'm sorry. And I started yelling at her and like poking her, and I put my hand on her side. She was lying on her side, and she was vibrating. It was very bizarre. And I couldn't wake her up because, she was gone. And I texted Naomi, who was on her way, and I said, I think she just died. And so Naomi said, I'll meet you at the vet. And I called the vet and said, can I bring her in? I think she just died. And they're like, well, I guess so. Because again, different people who didn't know her. And I took her in, and she was in fact dead. And the technician immediately brought in a box. She took her out of the room, brought her back, said, yes, she's passed away, and then immediately brought out a box and started setting out things that you would put ashes of a dog into. And I was like, take those away. She said, what? I said, take those away. And she said, oh, is it too soon? I'm like, take them away. Like, it's not appropriate. And in her defense, when else was it going to be appropriate? But it just was very cold. And so she took them away, and I hadn't said what I wanted to do yet, because I was waiting for Naomi. And Naomi showed up, and she came in the room, and she was already crying. But we just kept looking at her and saying, stupid dog. She's such a stupid dog. That's all we could say. And so we hugged each other, and we cried. I didn't cry. I can't cry since I started taking Zoloft, and it pisses me off. But I was very sad. I would have been crying. And after a while, I'm like, I'm just going to leave you with her because it was Naomi's dog. And I went out into the waiting room and um and then after a while I went back in. I said they want to know, do we want her cremated or not? And what do we want to do? And we agreed we wanted to have her cremated, and then we said I think we said we just wanted her cremated, we didn't want anything back. And we came back to my house and we talked for hours and just kept going back to stupid dog. And by the end of, I don't know if it was while we were still talking, because then by now it was late, or if it was texting later that night, but she said, nope, I think it was while we were still at the vet. We agreed that we wanted her ashes. We didn't know what we would do with them, but we wanted them. And I said, just in a box. And I pictured a cardboard box like my dad's ashes and my mom's ashes came in, to be put in a garden or something. So I just said, I just want a box. And it was later that we decided we wanted her paw print, which was something they offered us. We're like, we don't want paw prints. And then we were like, we want paw prints. So first thing in the morning, on Wednesday morning, I called the vet and said, is it too late to get paw prints? And they went, no. So we have very sloppy paw prints. It's kind of like having baby footprints where the baby doesn't want to cooperate. So I don't have the paw print to show you, but and since then, I've been having dinner with Naomi and her family every week, except when I was sick. And I now have, her kids are now my, grandkids, and I'm very honored to be part of her family. And last night I was there, for dinner, and after I'd picked up Clara's ashes, I took them to Naomi's house when I had dinner, and I handed her the bag. And I said, trusted journey. And I said, we're going to do something with her someday together. We'll take her somewhere. But I think you should have her, right now. And she said, okay. And she put her down in the kitchen, this bag. And that was in January. And I decided yesterday before I went to her house, actually a few days before. Okay, so there's more to the story. On Friday, my friend Jenny came for breakfast, and I was washing dishes because I didn't want dirty dishes in the house when Jenny came in, and I'm like, I didn't know if I'd hear the doorbell. I wouldn't hear if she knocked over the running water, and I said to myself, well, Clara will bark. I'll hear Clara barking. And then I thought, oh no, I won't. And it's been bothering me that as soon as she died, it was like I'd never had a dog. I didn't think, oh, it's time to take Clara out. I didn't think, oh, I miss taking Clara out. It was like I'd never had a dog. And I don't understand that, and it's been bothering me. So Friday, I thought, Clara will bark and I'll know that Jenny's here. And then I thought, wait, no, that's not right. And when I let Jenny in and I told her that, she said, I expected Clara to be barking when I walked up. And then I thought, oh no, she won't. And so it's like, something's wrong in my head. And so when I went to Naomi's last night for dinner, I said, I want to bring Clara home. I need to figure this out. She said, okay. So I brought Clara home. And she's in a box, but it's a beautiful box. And I'll show you her box. I don't have the hands camera, but you can see. You didn't expect this today, did you? So she's in a beautiful box. It's a beautiful box. It's got flowers on it. And it opens and there's a bag inside that has her remains in it. So I brought it home last night. I just opened the bag, and I'm going to put this somewhere and think about Clara, because I don't know why it seems like I didn't have a dog and I want to remember her. It's very weird in my head about that. And that's what I wanted to tell you today. So thank you for listening. Tammy says, every dog has a precious story. I felt like I could write a book when Dory died. Yeah, that was a hard one for you. It's still hard for her. I have shuffled the cards. I just split them. What do you call that? Cutting the deck, and I'm going to deal them out. And we'll do this real fast. It is a beautiful box. I expected cardboard. First card, the yarn ball. Hey, it's something that contains something else. Second card, the frog. Third card, the stockinette. I'm just going to read I'm not going to try. I'm going to read the descriptions, the suggested interpretations for the yarn ball. I do still have a dog. I just need to bring her back into my life. The yarn ball. Wow, I really have the wrong glasses on. I think my eyes have changed a little bit. I just don't have the right glasses. The yarn ball. Where'd it go? Protection, guardedness, having a wall up, safety, cautiousness. So that's Clara. Clara was my yarn ball. The frog. I'm just going to make it work. The frog. Oh my God. Loss, letting go, an ending, grief. Okay, this is weird. And then stockinette. Here's the number. Luck, humor, carefree, lighthearted, coincidence, fleeting. Well, that doesn't. Okay, so Clara. Grief. I don't know. I'm going to just. That's funny. Not haha funny. I'm just going to put these away and I'm going to end the live stream. But that's what's in my mind. I don't know what's going on, but I need to grieve Clara, I think. Grieve Clara. Mourn. I need to mourn her. And I don't do well with death. And so I think this is me coming to terms with that a little bit for a dog. Thanks for being here. I'll see